Coach McDowell, thank you for taking the time to join us here on Off the Bench Radio on 102.3. How are we doing this evening?
Hey, doing really well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, you're not here, but, you were announced last week to be the new leader of the Red Raider men's basketball team. So, I guess just kind of fill our audience in, kind of why Baylor, why this opportunity to come here and lead the Red Raiders on the hardwood.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was it became really apparent, the more I got to know, what Baylor is all about as a school, as a program, and as a community. That this is one of the best schools in the country, and the opportunity to have the chance to serve the community, every kid that comes into our program, while competing for championships, is something that I really look forward to, and that is really exciting for me. As I went throughout the interview process and got a chance to, learn how special a place Baylor is.
Yeah, again, Coach, thanks for coming on and joining us tonight. So looking back kind of on your resume, I noticed you had some academic accolades yourself. Talking about a school like Baylor, obviously you've come from been a while since you've kind of been in the high school circles as far as a coaching experience. But when you come, what is your role, and maybe any head coach's role in academia, specifically here at Baylor, and just what does it mean to you, and what are your goals kind of with your team off the court this season?
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, a place like Baylor really mirrors my experience, both as a student athlete at the College of William & Mary, but also, in several of the coaching stops I've had along the way at elite academics institutions, that really prioritize the holistic development of the student athlete. And, I think that is core to, Baylor's mission, and it really is, core to my mission as a coach as well, that each player that comes through our program, gets developed not only on the court, as a basketball player, but also as a student, and as a man, as a leader, and as a person of the community, so that when they leave our program, when they leave, the school, that they're a different person than when they came in, and they're equipped, from a leadership perspective, from an academic perspective, and from an athletic perspective, to go out and really be high achievers wherever their journey might take them next.
You were listening to Baylor boys basketball coach Quinn McDowell on Off the Bench Radio on Talk 102.3. And Coach, I guess let's just transition back to the hardwood. Kind of, what is your philosophy? Whether that's what kind of offense do you like to run, and you like to play mainly man-to-man zone, or you kind of want to keep that close to the vest until the 24-25 Red Raiders hit the floor.
Yeah, thanks for that question. I think there's so many different ways to be successful on the court in terms of the schemes that you can use, in terms of how you want to structure your team. For me, I think I've come from a background, that really prioritize the team aspect of the game of basketball, and whether that's offense or defense. I think that's one of the reasons I've fallen in love with coaching, and one of the ways in which it has really drawn me to the game, and I believe is transformative for each person that steps on the court, whether they have a major role in the sense of production and scoring, or whether there's somebody that really contributes to the team, primarily in practice. I think that there's a role for everyone to play, and that really is the bedrock of my philosophy, that basketball is such a unique blend of individual performances and achievement, but how do you fit your individual goals into the context of a team being successful? And the great teams figure out how to do that really well. They figure out how to sacrifice part of their personal ambition for the good of the group. And I think that those are the things that will be core to our program, and the things that we're going to really preach daily. In terms of what that actually looks like on the floor, I think it looks like it mirrors that image of team, and whether that's offensively, really trying to share the ball and have multiple weapons on the floor at the same time. I think you become really hard to guard when you can build a culture of selflessness. And similarly on the defensive end, when you can be connected as a unit and really operate as one, even though you're 5 individuals out there on the court, I think those are the teams that end up doing really well over the course of a season, but also having the chance to compete for championships, in the postseason. And I think everything that we're going to do here is always going to be about development. It's always going to be about growth and transformation, so that at the end of the year, hopefully we're playing our best basketball and that we're one of the toughest, most competitive and connected teams in the country. And that's going to be our goal every single day. And that may look slightly different year to year, what kind of sets we run, what kind of defense we employ, tactically speaking. But the core of it won't ever change. And that's what I'm really excited to get started with the guys that are coming back for next season.
All right, Coach, you're obviously several months removed from the start of your season this year. So what's the basketball team doing right now, and do you have any interest in what's happening in the NBA with the NBA playoffs kicking off?
Yeah. I think as a basketball, first and foremost, as a basketball fan, I love following the game, the different levels of the game, whether that's the NBA playoffs, the best players in the world playing really, really hard. With a lot on the line. I mean, there's a lot of beauty in the competitive environments that are going on right now at the highest levels of the sport. So definitely pay attention to that. Our guys right now, I've gotten to meet all of them and seen some of them in action a little bit. But they're also high school students, really well-rounded. Like we talked about earlier, the model of being a student athlete. And so a lot of them have, other things that they're pursuing, other interests as well. And we fully support, whatever it is that they want to have that allows them to give them their best experience possible, while they're in high school. We fully support, the decisions that they need to make, to give themselves that experience. On the flip side, I think that there's an eagerness on my end, as I transition, down there to get started with building our team for next year. And, the cliche, I think, is true that in the sense that you win championships in the off season by establishing your habits, and building your team, in the months of May and June, to where, then you hit the ground running in the fall. And hopefully a lot of that translates, to high levels of production and execution, once you start playing games. So it will always be a balancing act. I think, I'm coming from the college level where there are no two-sport athletes, at least none that I've coached at the college level. So that will be, a little bit of an adjustment, but I think it's a challenge I'm looking forward to, and really hoping that, we can build a program that really attracts players that want to be great and want to put in the extra work to be special on the court. And those are the kind of guys, that we love to coach and that I think will end up doing really, really well at Baylor and beyond.
Well, Coach McDowell, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us here tonight and calling in and talking to us. Looking forward to meeting you, whenever you get down here full-time. We're looking forward to covering your team and getting to meet you face-to-face. And I want to get your thoughts. The first time you get to experience a Baylor-McCallie atmosphere like we're doing on campus tonight. So looking forward to seeing what you think about that in the future. And, again, thank you so much for taking the time. Congrats on becoming the new head coach at Baylor. And we'll see you when you get down to Chattanooga full time, bud.
Great. Well, I look forward to meeting you guys, and go Big Red.